After you install and register EZ-Invest, you can launch the program. And first it'll come up with a disclaimer. So when you come up, make sure if you have any security warnings, you need to enable your content because it's going to go out, download symbol history. And to make this run, you have to make sure ahead of time macros are enabled, security of your macros. If you need to look how to do that, you can search the internet. First thing you come up to, the program's always going to launch up to what is called the quotes detail screen. There's always going to be two symbols listed, SVXY and SPXL. SVXY is an ETF by ProShares. It tracks the inverse of the volatility. So as the markets are calm and level, this will continue to go up. SPXL is a triple leveraged ETF by Direxion. So basically, if the S&P goes up 10%, this will go up 30%. Otherwise, if it goes down 10%, that fund will go down 30%. If you click quote details, it's going to go out and pull the current information. And if this is during the day, it's going to be a 15-minute delay. Notice that the two symbols now are currently black instead of blue. When they're black, there's no links going over to the charts. The charts are created once you hit Analyze. But before we go there, we want to take a look at the charts. These are the settings that are going to determine how the charts are created. The start date, the end date, the time period you want to look at, the average two range values, RSI, days and years, volatility. If you are not familiar with these settings to create the charts, just use the default settings. Yep. And it's going to pull out, from today minus the 2 years. It's going to use the standard default charts that's very common in the industry. Click OK. Would like to update the charts? Nope, not at this time yet. Want to go over to the buy and sell settings. So basically, you can select when you want to buy and sell a stock based upon its relative strength, buy point, sell point. You got the moving average, convergence, divergence, 12-day, 26-day EMA. You got custom exponential moving averages, 2 of them you can enter. Simple moving average, you can have 2 of them. You can create a Rune oscillator, a Rune Williams oscillator, proprietary configuration. If you are not familiar with how these technical indicators work, always select proprietary configuration. The software will pick the best of a proprietary configuration, can't say how it's done, based upon history and experience of these two funds, what these settings are optimized to for your best buy and sell points. So at the bottom here, the last thing you can set is the number of buy points possible for each symbol. So basically what that's saying is, what that means is, for SVXY, it's going to buy twice maximum before it sells at once. And it's also going to take, say you start out with $10,000 in your account, it's going to say, I have $5,000 allocated for SVXY, I have $5,000 allocated for SVXY. Take this number, divide it into there, and it's going to be $2,500 per transaction buy until I hit the 5,000 for each one. For me to hit a second buy point, though, it's got to drop 8%. You can adjust these changes. Say you want to buy it 4 times on the dip, 3 additional beyond the first one, but the default is going to be 2 and 8. That seems to be the optimal settings. Yes, now we're going to want to update the charts. So the program's running. It's pulling information off the internet to populate this table, and it's creating the charts for all those technical indicators that were listed. You notice these symbols now turn blue. They're linked. You see where they're going to link over to. So if we go click on one, it's going to take you over to the charts. So these are the parameters that's referencing to create these charts, which we set up in the previous screen. The buy and sell triggers, which are these here. The buy and sell decision matrix. So these are all the indicators that are available and what their current status is based upon if there was adjustable parameter setting, say for the a rune oscillator. Anything above 70 is a sell, anything below minus 70 is a buy. You could change those, it'll determine whether this is a sell or buy. Proprietary saying is neutral, which means it's not triggering a buy or sell at this current time. So it graphs out, and you can see all these buy points are in blue, sell points are in black. So you can see it bought once, twice, and it sold over here. Bought once, twice, sold over there, and it bought once here and it sold there. Now, user configuration, if you had a user configuration and you were setting all those points using different indicators, this would match. Since the user settings are currently matched to proprietary underneath, because we don't have proprietary click, these two charts will match. And then you have the relative strength. This program will not go over how to research these indicators and what they mean. And I'll show you the relative strength chart for the last 2 years. The moving average, convergence, divergence, the rune up-down indicator, the 12 and 26-day exponential moving averages, your historical volatility, your average true range, your custom indicators that you had in there for your 2 exponential moving averages and 2 simple moving averages. And then you have your rune oscillator and your Williams oscillator. Now this tab is unlocked. Remember, this is Excel file. It's hiding all the tabs. It's, looks like a software program, but it's really Excel. You can delete anything you want on here. If anything can't be deleted, it will prevent you from deleting it. But you can delete anything you want. You don't have to worry about corrupting the file. You go right back to quote data. The minute you click Reanalyze, it's going to recreate all those graphs again from scratch. Depending on your operating system and the speed of your computer and which version of Excel you're using, this could take 30 seconds or it could take 4 minutes. Recreated the charts because they're in blue. Go back over there and you can see they're all back. So after all that data was pulled, all these buy and sell points were created, you can go to Backtest Auto. This is the heart of the program. This is going to help you decide what is the proper buy and sell points. So in this particular setup, it's got $10,000 for your beginning account balance. It says currently you're at $22,000. Your cash balance is $22,000, which means you're all in cash right now. It means during that 2-year period, in 2 years, you over doubled your money. So basically what it's going to do is say, here's the buy and sell criteria that is using. There's your SVXY first buy point. You see there's the $2,500. It took the 5. You got 2 different buy points. And then there's the second buy point and that second dip. And there's your $5,000 total. And it sold them on the same date. And then it went back in there and bought $4,184. So what it does is it takes your gains, adds it back in, splits it up, and allows you to use those gains for your next round of buy transactions. Same thing with SPXL. There's your buy point, your first buy point, do your second buy point on the dip. They sold on the same date. It went back in and used half that money to do another buy point, and then it went and bought again. It sold them both on the same date, and went back in there and bought it again and sold it again. So the buy and hold criteria is it buys on the first date, uses all the money allocated. You can see 57.14, 57.14, but it's got twice as many shares. So if you took this first buy date and just said, you know what, I'm going to buy and hold it until now, same thing with SPXL, your buy and hold criteria would have yielded this much return. Summary area down here says if you use the criteria that it's stated up here for buying and selling, you would have made 125%. You would have made $12,000 on your $10,000 initial fund. On a buy and hold setup, you would have made $10,755 or 105%. So your best strategy would have been following the program and buying and selling on the dates that it specifies. So then the always goal is to exceed the market return. During that same time period, the S&P 500 went up 14.81%. So how did your investments do? By buy and hold, you would have yielded 107% extra above the market change, which is an extra $9,338. On a criteria, you would have made an extra $11,000. Basically, what that's saying is, if you would have maintained the market at this rate, you would, but you actually did this, you made an extra $11,000 above the market, which means you're getting more value out of your investments. Now, how do you actually know when to buy or sell? Every morning, the goal of this program is, it's not meant for day trading, it's meant for position trading on a daily basis. So if you launch this program in the morning, anytime there's a purchase date that's highlighted in yellow, that means it's the current buy time for that date. You should go in there and buy it. Same thing for sale. If you launched a program and the date's in yellow, that's a current sell trigger for that day. You should go in there and sell off the fund. So that's the summary there. Up here, it will tell you these are all your transactions. You average 38.8% on your transactions. You currently have no stocks in holding. If you're unrealized, if you have unrealized money over here, which means something is bought and it hasn't sold yet, but right now everything is in cash and you're waiting for the next trigger to pop up on the screen. One other thing I want to show you is there was an investment log on here. You can keep track of your transactions. Let's just say you did SPXL. Everything that pops up in yellow are the fields that you need to enter. Say 100. Say we're going to do 1, so it's 17. Say we purchase it at 100. Buy and sell fees, we'll say, is $10. That's all you have to do. Then it will highlight the next row in yellow if you want to add another field. If not, you click update. It will update currently where it's at. You're currently up 26% on it if you would still hold it. If you sold it, we'll say you sold it, it will tell you got to enter this field because it turned yellow. And I'll update it automatically and it sold it. You notice up here you have no longer any realized costs that were over here. Everything is in cash again. And we can enter the next transaction. You don't have to use SPXL, SPXY. You can put anything you want in there. If you want to use GM or Ford, every time you enter something in there, it's going to tell you what fields need to be populated for it to run the program and update correctly. If you want to delete anything, you can just delete it and then click update and it'll remove the transaction. So we go back to quote data and that's it. Simple as could be. It's meant to use as a, you don't have time to go there and play in front of the market. No, this is not meant for day trading. This is meant for investing into the market, but knowing when to buy and sell. And this program will help assist you when to buy and sell. If you need more information or want to see other programs available, there's another version of this program that's more advanced. This is the entry level. This will only allow these two funds. If you try to go in there and delete it, remember this is Excel based, it will tell you can't delete it. Again, anything that is able to be deleted, you don't have to worry about corrupting it, because the minute I go quote details, it pulls it all back and clears everything out. So you don't have to worry about corrupting the file. It's locked down. It's meant for just a daily process. But the next version is easy trade analysis. It will allow you to stick up to 200 symbols in this column and see what the quotes are. It's a lot more complex in this, and it gives you a lot more function. That's it. Any questions, you go visit our website. Thank you for your time.